Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
There are good movies and there are great movies, but this is shitty cinema, and so those are not the kind of movies we watch. Dave, why don't you tell us what we do here?
We watch the worst movies that we can find based around some type of theme, and then we try and decide who's the worst friend with what they brought that month.
That's me.
You're definitely in the running so far.
This is not a judgment-free zone.
No, lots of judgments here. I'm Dave. I'm joined by Casey.
Yeah, that's the only way we're going to join.
No.
Unless we're conjoined Wonder Twins.
I'm Juice, and I ruined everybody's evening.
You
I'm so proud of this.
Yeah.
are like a wet couch cushion right now. How about Jay? What are you like right now?
I can't introduce myself because I'm trying to down as much of this scotch as
I've
possible.
noticed.
Tolerable.
It's been hovering towards your lips like, bitch.
I love you.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me.
I'm Jay, and I have a problem. We will be talking about Shopaholics Anonymous because this month is Capitalism Shop Till You Drop Month.
Till you drop.
And we are watching movies based around shopping till you are dropping.
Shopping.
They're usually pretty awful.
Dave, what did we have the
smoking.
pleasure of watching this week?
Oh, God. This week was Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Is
thanks
this
to
pleasure?
Juice.
I don't like pleasure then.
Ostensibly, yes. It's a romantic comedy.
This scotch is pleasurable.
Which
It's
was
neither
not.
of those things.
No, it was neither of those things.
No.
It was actually kind of a dark movie.
I only laughed at the painful parts.
So before we get too far into this, Juice, we need an elevator pitch from you. So you're at the Mall of America,
Why am I there?
the largest mall
Because you want to go to the
anywhere.
same store on
You-
4 different floors.
In
Yeah.
America,
Yeah,
the
you-
largest mall.
You know, you've just left the giant arcade that still doesn't have anything worth playing. You've maxed out your credit card at Neiman Marcus, and you need to downgrade now to Macy's. That's all the way down on the 1st
You're
floor.
on the 3rd floor. You're disgusting, you piece of fucking poor
Yeah.
trash.
You have no business being this
You
high
have
up
no
in the Mall of
business.
America.
I really needed this blazer. There was no other way to get it but to go to Macy's.
You live in a shopping cart. Do you need it? The fuck, Juice?
Yes, the mannequins
near
are
that-
telling me that I need this.
We're definitely still near that arcade.
Regardless, we need to get you down to the financial level you can afford. So you pop into the elevator, and just as you press the button to go down to the 1st floor, all of a sudden you hear the snap of the cables above you. The
It's your
elevators,
debt.
Yeah, your credit card debt has finally caught up to you. So in the 10 seconds before you hit the bottom floor, tell us what this movie was.
A compulsive shopaholic lies to everyone in her life, finds her rock bottom, and still doesn't learn anything.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, and you summed it up pretty well, too.
Yeah,
'Cause-
this movie was a dark movie, and I actually kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, this was the story of an addict failing upwards.
Failing upwards. Well, speaking of failing upwards, as I'm praying to my deity, giving out this last will and testament of this movie I watched, I look
Your
up
last
and
will and testament is recapping this shitty movie.
apparently it's what I have to do.
All he has left.
I'm about to die. It's all you got left, Casey, because I look up. What the fuck are you doing on the roof of my elevator?
Such an
Okay.
appropriate thing for
First
Casey.
of all, that's how I dry my laundry. What's called wash and wear, you ignorant slut. And yeah, you could give me 10 seconds, but I only need a few. White people fail up in every way possible.
Yeah.
That was 2 seconds.
Yes.
That's what this whole fucking... You could have ended this movie in 2 seconds. Just print out white people fail up in every way possible. That's all this fucking movie was. It was terrible. It was horrible. I tried to eat through the whole thing.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to disagree with you.
You can't!
Let me tell you the plot of Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Please do.
All right.
Confess to me your sins.
This is how it went down. Ilsa, the main character, is comically inept with her finances and horrendously in debt. Ironically, she accidentally interviews with Fluke, the romantic interest, and she totally bombs it. She drinks her feelings, she lies, weasels her way into finance reporting, something that she knows absolutely nothing about. After buying a self-help DVD to combat her addiction to shopping, complete with a montage. Right, she has to have that.
Montage.
She becomes the underdog reporter out to prove that she's not just a fashion crackhead. Guess what? She's just totally a fucking fashion crackhead.
I'm so itchy.
All she
so
is.
itchy.
It's bullshit.
Itchy and Chanel.
So she writes a surprise fashion finance crossover column, and that garners literally fucking international fame.
We raced in China.
Can relate to being poor
Yeah.
and wanting better shit.
And Ilsa-
Redhead.
And Ilsa continues to lie to cover up her financial ruin and succeeds in journalism under a pseudonym about her fucking scarf. Confusing her boss's signals, she learns that he's dating her reporting nemesis. Star-crossed lovers reveal.
Were they
What?
actually dating, or was she just trying to fuck him because
No,
he
she was being
basically
thirsty.
Anderson Cooper and his mom is Gloria Vanderbilt?
I don't think it really matters
That one.
because
Okay.
Ilsa is crushed and crashes a Shopaholics Anonymous meeting, spiraling the participants back into their addiction, and then bumbles her way through a fancy dinner.
That was basically me in AA, though. Like the 3 times I went. No offense. I was getting that shit popping.
Well, I mean,
Y'all
I know.
are so depressed.
You guys
can
are
sign
so
my
sad.
sheet, or I can keep talking.
I could just take a shot here real quick to make this meeting a little bit more exciting. And you know what makes the premise of this fancy dinner that she bumbles through is that it's a fish out of water joke. And you know what makes fish out of water jokes better? Punctuating them with actual fish dishes. That was a joke.
Ew,
a quote-unquote
I didn't even
joke.
see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Is that why they were
was
making
Yes.
such a big goddamn deal
About
about,
the fish. Because she was a fish out of water.
Oh, I hate it
See?
so much more.
senpai.
The jokes are better when I have to explain them to you.
Yes, of
Because
course.
I did
it?
not.
Because you took a
care.
red pill.
Get it?
Okay, next we get some dress drama. It precedes Ilsa's first TV victory lap. Her house of cards is revealed to be built on lies, and her stalker debt collector throws her under the bus on live TV.
But she didn't expose herself to a teenage boy.
That's true. To further the embarrassment, Ilsa's caught selling her bridesmaid's dress to her best friend's wedding, causing Kristin Ritter to abandon her.
She ratchet.
She didn't sell it. She returned back to her Shopaholics Anonymous, and they made her take it in.
To a pawn shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a secondhand shop. I don't know. I can't tell the difference. Fancy people problems. Hey, I'm drinking fucking scotch. I cannot know the difference between that stuff. I don't do that.
No one has ever wanted anything I've owned, so I've never had this problem.
Fortunately, Ilsa continues to fail up, and John Lithgow, who's fucking amazing, and also the magazine conglomerate CEO, gives Fluke a new magazine while Ilsa turns down her dream fashion reporting job because morals or some shit. I don't know. Returning to Shopaholics Anonymous, Ilsa sells most, but not all of her clothes, and she auctions off her famous green scarf to cover her debt. She succeeds, but pays her $9,000 debt in pennies, filling the debt collector stalker's office, and buys back the bridesmaid's dress just in time to make it to the wedding.
Hashtag Patty. She's terrible, really, though.
And it's really confusing because for some reason Jerry Bruckheimer thinks we accept this as her rock bottom, and then she discovers Fluke had 2 patsies bid for her scarf and bid it up a bunch, and he gives it to her, and it's a sloppy kiss. And I die a little bit inside.
It was a sloppy kiss. Good call.
It was a sloppy kiss, and I die a little bit inside. And after all of that, guys, I just want you to know that I'm getting on a plane and going to Finland.
I think
That's a reference about the
It's a
movie.
weird inside joke through this whole movie that was never funny.
Apparently, she's Finnish. We actually get a mention of
Yeah.
her
I
dad.
don't-
I don't think
that's
she's
totally
Finnish.
a lie.
No,
I think
she
his
is.
parents. I think her parents met in Finland while they were both doing a study abroad.
No, okay, that might have been. They said her dad said this reminds me of our youth in Finland. That's
Yeah,
the
but it
only
probably
reference we get
also
to
reminds him of a hoagie because he's John Goodman,
and he smoked a lot of
Right.
hoagies.
And Ilsa constantly
and
lying.
then ate them.
We see Ilsa constantly lying about Finland, saying that she speaks Finnish. and that-
checks
up on Finland.
It started as a bad resume joke. It just like, and then they felt the need to keep bringing it up.
It's
Like
because they
over
took the
and
red pill.
over.
like
It's
4 more
2009.
times.
You Googled one thing. Fuck off.
It
You're not a
was-
professional.
It wasn't a good joke the first time.
All right, there is plenty to talk about, and you guys have dropped the red pill several times. Seriously.
It's a 3-second rule. Just blow off the dust and take it. It's fine.
It really is.
I promise.
Because by hour 2, you are being talked to by mannequins, and you have no idea that you even took anything.
I don't think that's the red pill you're thinking of.
No.
And I'm not in the habit of turning down pills from strangers.
Yeah, that's always a good
I
idea,
should be in that habit. I had to grow that habit.
Yeah.
I think we should change the name of the movie from Confessions of a Shopaholic to Confessions of a Bitch. Because the main character of this movie was your classic red pill bitch.
Tell us how you really
She's
feel.
a fucking Jenny. She uses her coyness and her sexuality to just keep getting stuff from dudes. She got a job from a dude from answering her phone with her butt in a man's face.
She accuses the debt collector of being a stalker ex-boyfriend.
She's like falsely accusing this guy of almost being a rapist. Like he's raping her personal space. What's next? No. Ilsa Fisher. He's not. You owe him money.
He was breaking a lot of debt collection laws. You can't do that.
Listen,
Like,
while I don't agree he should have been doing any of that, he's paid by commission and he has a fucking family to feed, Dave. And you know what he's not doing? Out buying Prada purses at sample sales.
Yeah, but he risks being able to collect anything.
I feel like you're being a real fucking Chad right now and I don't want to hear it.
Listen, Chad, we need to be clear.
You shouldn't be able to vote.
Because you should not be able to vote, Chad. Listen, Ilsa specifically lies to cover up the fact that she's in debt, accusing him of being a stalking ex-boyfriend
Multiple
that is
times.
harassing her multiple times.
What was the other? There was another one.
She
too.
lied about her aunt dying like 3 times and
And getting
she had
malaria.
She died in a skydiving accident. She had heart
skydiving was
failure.
bad.
Just sorry fall out of the sky.
All I'm saying is someone somewhere is using this movie as justification for why all women are bitches.
This is why I can't get a girlfriend because they're all in the Chads. British Chads.
In any other movie, Ilsa is the villain.
Yeah. We have been talking about pills quite a bit, but nothing's more important than going on a shopping trip while you're on acid. Because that's what Confessions of a fucking Shopaholic did in this film. Mannequins. Mannequins touching you, strangling you with scarves lightly, winking, smiling, touching you. Did I
Dangling
mention
purses in
touching
front of you. Yeah.
Why are they touching you?
Can it lightly wrap a scarf around my throat while I do some research?
Yes.
Yes, that's called
Those-
auto asphyxia.
Is it auto? I'm getting someone else to help.
It's called
a
mannequin
mannequin.
asphyxiation.
No, you are tripping and you are moving the mannequin's arms
Yeah,
into the
that's
position
true.
to hold it.
You
Like,
think they're choking you, but you're choking them in real life. I'm not really sure where this is at. Manslaughter of a mannequin. Confessions of a slaughtering, mansplaining mannequin. I don't know. I don't know.
That would definitely be a better movie than what we just watched.
I would watch that movie over this movie any day.
I was most disturbed when she overcame her shopping addiction at the end and all the mannequins applauded for her as she ran past. And then one of them winked at her, but it doesn't have an eye, so it's just winking the whole socket.
And it made a noise.
Was there a noise?
Yeah, they had the winking. Ding.
Oh, God.
No, it
The
was
bell.
this.
No.
Oh.
It was fucking. It was wet.
That's gross.
It was.
Why is it wet?
I don't know.
How did it get wet? I have so many questions.
Yeah, all the
Wizardry.
mannequins in this world are apparently alive.
Sentient.
No, they're not
Aware
alive.
of your debt. They
They're
can
not alive.
smell your weakness.
They're
We
alive
just-
in Ilsa's mind.
They're alive in her mind.
They're alive with acid.
I'm just picturing it as Elsa now.
Oh, the horrible placement of product or fake product in this film was fantastic. But I feel like there's an elephant in the room we've all been avoiding.
I've lost
How
weight
many-
recently, okay?
How many years old were you when you saw a pursegasm?
I feel like it
Are
was
you
a purse
today years
boner.
old? Are you today years old?
Yeah, today years old, but I feel like it was a purse boner. I'm going to argue purse boner.
I definitely saw a pursegasm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
right.
seen both.
It seemed like more of a release than an erection.
Let me describe what
That's
I
more
saw
of
to you.
Then like,
Listen, here's what I saw, right? I saw Ilsa standing at the counter, purse on it.
yes,
Her enemy reporter steps up, looking gorgeous. We get a shot from the heels.
that bat looks so good.
Then it moves up. We see that she's beautiful.
That's a great.
And then, as she's walking by, Ilsa struck her purse in the background. The latch comes out, and the flap to the latch, I don't know what the fuck to call it, snaps forward. And it's a boner as she walked by. The purse got a boner.
No, the purse totally got off.
I don't think I didn't see that.
Because the purse was snapping open. It's
Yeah,
you need to think about it more
I'm
from
releasing.
the concept of a purse.
I have a release.
It's opening to
Yes.
allow.
I'm having a
I
release
mean, the purse-
right now.
It's not a squirter, I'll tell you that then.
No, I mean not everything's a porn.
That should be. She did have a lot of expensive stuff. Do you know how she got that?
Credit cards. This girl
close.
loves credit cards.
She did love credit cards, but you know what you need to do, Dave?
Take
Suck
the red
dick.
pill.
You need to follow the money.
God damn it.
Whoa,
And you gotta follow the
wait
money.
a minute.
You know where the money
Hey,
leads?
can I get my wellies
To the
on before I
credit
get
card.
down
Yes.
the fucking rabbit hole?
Ah, yeah, but who owns the credit card companies, Dave?
J.P. Morgan,
J.P. Morgan. And who does J.P. Morgan work for?
George Bush,
No, not George Bush.
Obama,
The World Bank. And who owns the World Bank?
Obama.
Exactly.
Oh my
Obama.
God.
See?
Oh my!
See?
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
All fronted by the Clinton
Follow the money,
Foundation.
Dave.
I did not hear one mention of an email in this movie. Is it up to date?
They did
No.
have a mention of a mail when we got the scene of her trying to James Bond a fucking letter that she wrote drunkenly to Fluke.
Oh yeah. She
Note
wrote
to self: write more drunk letters.
Fluke a letter that was supposed to say, here's $20 to buy yourself some decent clothes, but then she accidentally sent it to the editor of the high fashion magazine
No,
she
she
wanted to
sent
work
letters
for.
out to everyone.
Ooh, was
Yeah,
that?
but no, she mixed up who the letters
Yeah,
were supposed
no.
to be sent to.
No, they were all fuck you letters. But was that a confession of a shopaholic?
Confess
Oh.
my sins,
Oh.
Oh,
Daddy.
that's why they called it that.
Was it?
Sky Daddy.
Was it? Or maybe it was when she was at Shopaholics Anonymous.
Is that a real thing? Do they have classes for that?
Fucking
I mean, they have Gamblers Anonymous.
Probably in
and they
this
have-
fucking economy.
And like people go around and like it's been 6 months since I
You
last
know,
used my credit
honestly,
card.
I do have to agree. I would say
6
yes.
months and 15 days.
Yes, they definitely do, because one of the things that this movie taught me
yeah.
is that shopaholism is a disease.
Since I went to Target.
I just watched you lose the battle with keeping that in.
I tried so hard.
Well, what this showed me is that shopaholicism is actually a disease, and they tried to make a romantic comedy out of it. And unfortunately, they did make a romantic comedy out of it, but it was not funny.
This was not romantic or funny, so no, they didn't.
Addictions aren't funny.
Oh,
Period.
what?
Yeah, like, okay,
What?
so let's make a romantic comedy about me being an alcoholic.
Quirks are funny. Addictions aren't funny because when you take the time to think about it, it's actually super fucking sad.
Okay, but counterpoint, you enjoy Animal House, right?
I've
Yes,
never
it's a
seen that
fantastic
movie.
film. It's fantastic.
Because that's pretty much proof that addictions are funny so long as it's not about the addiction.
Confessions of a Shopaholic has one of the most hands down secondhand soundtracks I've ever heard in a
God.
movie in my life.
Were these real songs? Because these all sounded like parodies of pop music from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I had a couple pieces of glitter in the turd. There was a little
Couple
Natasha.
pieces of glitter in the turd.
No, there was nothing good about the music in this movie.
There was Natasha Bedingfield, Trey Songs. There
I hate
was,
you.
Okay, but like
wait, who else did
the
we name?
Pussycat Dolls was in this, but I legitimately thought it was someone making fun of the Pussycat Dolls.
Yes.
Yeah, they were.
That's how bad this whole movie soundtrack
I mean,
is.
Lady Gaga's on this somewhere.
but
I don't
it
know
sounded
where.
like someone making fun of Lady
yeah,
Gaga.
no, it sounded like a duty-free version of Lady Gaga. Like,
The biggest problem is that they used them for like these weird transitions from,
Yes.
a scene. It's almost like a half montage to introduce a character or to bring about the next part. But they were just,
baccarat face, baccarat face,
and now we're at the next part.
the
the movie.
baccarat face.
Yeah, we're at the part where we actually meet Flack.
Because they realized
Fluke.
because they realized just how clunky and shitty this movie's plot was. It was just, fuck it, paste it over with some
music
Lady
that comes
Gaga
in.
tracks.
Here's
Whatever's
some
hit today.
montage for a time of day we did not get good audio.
You know, just get some
None of
reaction
this actually
shots.
needs words. It is just reaction shots and clothes and colors.
Yeah, we did start this movie off with just her talking about.
With her
Narration.
woman mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't like about all the narration?
All the narration?
The sex didn't sell because I can't see everyone's tight little asses. And that's what all this movie was about.
It supposedly
Women,
was.
you can get anything. You can fill up as hard as you can. You can fill right up to the clouds as long as you're hot, tight, and wag your tail around.
That is exactly all she...
Very a 1960s flight attendant movie.
Ilsa just fails constantly and
Excuse me.
is successful for it.
Come in a size,
Including plagiarizing... What plagiarizing finance for dummies.
No, she attempted to. Luckily, her dumbass boss had enough intelligence to be able to catch it and say, "This looks like you fucking plagiarized
Okay,
it."
here's a question though.
Hi, boss
If-
man.
If Fluke, okay, no, here's a serious question. If Fluke is actually this really smart finance guy,
He's not.
He's
why
not.
is he familiar with? Okay, so that's why he's familiar with finance for dummies.
He's
Yeah.
Gloria Van. This is
Yeah.
basically the story of Anderson Cooper.
So you
in
remember
his
the
20s.
scene? You remember the scene where he is talking to what's his name, the big boss guy who owns the entire company.
John Lithgow. Hey.
Yeah, he's fucking
remember
fantastic.
He was the best part of this movie. You remember the scene where he's talking to John Lithgow, and he says directly to John, "You paid me to make a product better, not to make the product." Doesn't really make sense.
No, not to make a product.
I was not listening by that point.
Yeah.
I was listening. It wasn't
Did
that.
not care.
But also,
No.
it wasn't anything better. So
Yeah.
why don't we just go with that? So yeah, I'll say that's what he said.
Okay,
We
I'll take
found
that.
out his whole character line when we found out that his mother was a wealthy socialite in the New York scene.
His
Oh,
mother
you're
is
just here
Gloria
through
Vanderbilt.
nepotism.
It's Gloria Vanderbilt.
It's not literally.
It
It's-
is
but
literally
it was-
at the beginning. It said this is the real documentation of Anderson Cooper's life.
Yeah.
Hashtag fight me.
He's he's no more qualified than Ilsa. We get to hear the article that he's so excited about, and it sounds like Billy Madison's speech about
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't ever you lose your innocence, kid. Ever.
Which is even greater.
no touching.
Stay young forever.
No touchies.
Which is even greater when you take into context that this article that she wrote went viral.
It went
How?
international.
Listen.
International.
So bad.
Listen. Can we talk?
No.
Just for a
Oh,
minute.
can we?
No.
Can we? Everybody sit down.
Credit cards
Wait.
are like pit vipers.
I am sitting.
They are great if you have enough crystals and bravery in your heart. They can be friends. Listen, you guys. Ilsa Fisher lives in New York City in 2008. 2009. The economy still sucks fucking dick. Everything's expensive. She's addicted to shopping. She is a writer, a freelance writer for a magazine that's going under. There is no fucking way she's making more money than me. There's no way.
I like that. That's what you're concerned about. So how is she affording it? That's the question, right?
Credit cards.
Sex sells.
Sex. So.
That's the only way she can fucking afford. There's no
is this your
fucking
alternate
way.
plot?
This is the hill I'm gonna die on. This is the fucking friend's apartment. She's Rachel. She's worthless. She has to be selling her butthole on the weekends.
Wait, is this why you and Corey were discussing the cost of blowjobs earlier?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because we found
Do you
out
know
that
how
she
many
was
$10 rock blowjobs she would have to give? Well, that's 12 for the green scarf that ignites this whole film's plot, aka non-plot.
Yeah, she was $16,000 in debt.
No. She was only $9,000.
She was-
$9,000.
That was to that
Yeah,
guy.
That was to that guy. It
Oh,
was
you're right.
16 all
16K
day.
total.
Can we when I talk mad shit about someone, I try to end on a high note. Let's talk about something we liked. Let's talk about Kristin Ritter's boyfriend in this film. You only see him like 4 times total.
You know, can we actually stop and talk about Kristin Ritter a little bit too? Because I don't think she got enough of the show light here tonight. And
Because she ruined it?
It
wasn't good.
She did kind of ruin her name a little bit, but despite that, it really is a tribute to how deplorable this movie was, that she, despite being...
You pooped on Kristin Ritter, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Jerry.
rude. That's rude.
Yeah, I really like her normally, but
You're
even
so
she
deep.
couldn't pull this through.
It's like I love corn, but when I shit out a piece of corn, I no longer like that piece
Okay.
of corn.
Okay,
well,
wait,
I
wait,
thought
wait.
you meant the band.
Are you
and I
eating
was
Jonathan
like,
Davis?
I was just going to say, like, I love corn, but Jonathan Davis as a solo artist is just...
I thought he was going to
Okay.
say, I love corn, but every time I shit out a piece of Jonathan Davis, it's just uncomfortable and messy. I look at it and I
I
see
ate
his eye
one of his
floating
feet
there.
years ago, but it's just coming out very, very
It's
slowly.
the extra straps on the pants, but really, he's still trying to make that work. And
All day high.
It was 60% nylon. Well, I'll just leave it
was.
there.
All right.
It was-
Can I take that back? I love corn on the cob.
And I also love corn on the band.
I do.
But
I actually
Kristin
like
Ritter
corn.
in this film was not good. So let me get back to my main point, which was Kristin Ritter's boyfriend was a gem in this film because he played to how the audience felt. Every time they're like, let's have a girls' moment and drink tequila shots while I open all your bills you've been ignoring.
A half gallon of tequila. A
Is that
half gallon
I mean,
of
but
tequila.
they did it a shot at a time, which is what we
Well,
did
you
when
know.
we were in Korea with all the
true.
fucking, what's that called? The liquor there?
Soju.
Yep.
Oh, so goddamn much soju. You just like do little
Soju-runk.
very fucking.
yeah, but the boyfriend only had like 4 lines because if they'd given him any more than that, we'd have found a reason to hate him.
Yeah.
That's very true. But like Ilsa Fisher burst into Kristin Ritter's bedroom in the middle of the night. It's like, hey, I non-plagiarized this article talking about my crippling shopping den. She's like, yas, queen, yas, yas, yas. And the boyfriend all of a sudden peers out of the bed. She's like, cool, get the fuck out. TLDR, get the fuck out.
I'm trying to get laid.
I'm trying to get laid. I've been knocking on her fucking brown hole for 3 minutes, and she's been like doing that like undulation thing.
And then she leaves.
And then they presumably have sex. I hope
I hope so.
someone
There
needs to
was-
fuck in this fucking movie.
Right, no, there was no sex in this movie. There was hardly any romantic tension for it being a romantic comedy.
Well, because women are so fucking helpless.
Because all
You
they want
can't
to
have a
do...
boner when you're saving someone.
No, I
Right.
hated both of the main characters, and I don't want either of them to get laid. Ever.
Well,
I don't want
Then
them to
let's-
be happy.
the real world characters, I hope, or real world actors, I hope they get laid. But the characters in this movie, I hope they die alone.
Well,
Tell us how you really feel, Dave.
yeah, Dave, actually...
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
Dave, really, tell me how you feel. Would you watch this movie again?
God, no. Look, I'm not one for romantic comedies to begin with, and this is just the best possible example of why that is. It's not funny. It's has no real redeeming qualities, and the few good actors and actresses it has, it just utterly wastes on completely forgettable lines. So I would absolutely never watch this again, and if there's a sequel and any one of you brings that, I will punch you in the face. Casey, how about you? Would you watch this again?
Confessions of a Shopaholic, 2009.
Yes. Would you watch Confessions of a Shopaholic 2009?
It's
Again.
hard to say. You have Jerry.
Really?
You have Jerry Bruckheimer, who just came out hot on all of the Pirates of the Caribbean. You have past Jessica Jones. You have the lady from Airplane who plays a Batsy fucking secretary to the British, aka hot guy. He's not hot. His hair's long. He's disgusting, actually, and he looks like a future hobo. You have ADD racism in an interview. Ilsa Fisher is fucking helpless this whole movie. I don't know how she's made it alone on her own in New York. It's very unbelievable. And basically, this was How to Seduce Your Boss in 3 Days. So, yes, I would not watch this ever again. It was fucking terrible. Juice is the worst. I fucking hate him, and I kind of want to just tap him in the balls. Jay, would you watch this again?
Wow, that was aggressive.
Yeah, I just like,
Real hot.
hey, we're going on a mountain drive. Off the mountain now!
I feel like you guys are discounting the fact that John Sally is in this movie, and he is addicted to buying really expensive watches,
Yes.
and also slaps a woman's hand away from trying to buy something for $35 at the auction at the end, and says, I'll give you $30 to get away from my table.
Oh, yeah.
Which is,
That was like the one decent joke in this movie.
that's why Confessions of a Shopaholic is a movie that I won't watch again, because those are the only fucking parts that are worth watching, and I'm not watching 2 fucking hours of that just for those 2.
Can he afford to not?
Okay, here's what we have to know, though. Juice, you brought this.
You piece of
You
shit.
did this.
You
Would
piece of
you
shit.
watch this again?
Yeah, you piece of shit.
You know, I am usually one for dark movies. I really like a very dark satirical comedy, but unfortunately, they made a comedy about something that then made it dark. This was terrible. I feel bad for anybody who actually has this disease. If it's a real thing, I just think it's completely bullshit. But no.
Dr. Juice on the mic.
On the mic.
Well, next week, I have a surprise for you guys. I'm going to bring to you a 2015 Spanish film about 3 women who get into fashion to make a quick buck. I don't think that's... I don't know that that's a thing.
And not at all the soundbite you would use for that.
Okay, so these 3 women get into fashion, and it's called Paranoid Girls, and it sold a whopping $78.
I
At
hope
the
you're
cinema.
wearing 1% Lycra blue Saint Laurent gloves.
I'll do what I can.
Put it on my body.
It's been a long night, Juice, thanks to Confessions of a Shopaholic. So let's turn out the lights and let's go home.
I fucking live here.